The Spain-Argentina final was like a reverse Super Bowl, where the players spoke Spanish and the halftime show was in English. They had Madonna and Justin Bieber and, for some reason, the Muppets. Holy shit. Is that the count? You got all the Muppets to choose from. Why in God's name would you make the vampire work during the day? Not only is it the bright glare of the afternoon sun, but for most of the game, the score was 0-0. You're taunting this poor bastard. I sat in traffic for 1, 2, 3 hours for this. I'm burning alive. By the way, congrats to World Cup champions Spain, España, clearly the best team in this year's tournament, and they celebrated receiving the World Cup trophy with a trophy hoist, which is traditionally, it's a moment that is shared really only by the players, a special moment that is only for the players. It is really, what the are you doing on the stage? It's for the players. God damn! Why must everything be tainted by the overinflated ego of Cankles Muldoon? Why? Why? I will admit this. Afterwards, Trump had some really insightful post-game analysis.
I thought it was incredible. It was 4 times greater than any FIFA ever held.
What's a FIFA? How do you hold a FIFA? How could our FIFA be 4 times greater than any other FIFA?
And it's probably about 5 times, actually, they're telling me today.
Is that what they told you? You know, they're telling you that because everyone around you lies to you. Because you're a widow baby. Can we go back a second, though? And I don't mean to... What's up with the guy behind Trump? Can we see that again? Can you bring that out? Who the f*** is this guy? Who the f*** is this? Is this... What? Who in the world is it? Oh, my God. Is that a backup Trump? Is that... Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on a second. Wait. What? Wait. Who? What? Is that a backup Trump? Or is that Trump? Wait. Is the one we've been dealing with backup Trump? Or is that Trump's... But... Let's move on from the World Cup final to something with no actual end in sight, the Iran war. The Iran war is reigniting, and as escalation continues with more intense and widespread bombing, there's no sign that either side is prepared in any way to... God, you're not in this graphic! You're not in this graphic! What? We have talked about this. You're not in this graphic. Get him out of the graphic! You're... So needy. Is that real Trump or backup Trump? I don't know what's happening. Anyway, clearly, the war is escalating. And Americans are rightly concerned that we will be drawn even further into a war that has already cost too much in American lives and money. And so it was that Donald Trump delivered a primetime national speech on Thursday night to address this urgent situation.
In mid-2018, China was working to influence the results of the U.S. midterm elections and later the results of the 2020 presidential election itself. They wanted to just make you sound like your president wasn't so hot, when actually your president has done a great job.
Those Chinese bastards. I'll have you know, both Presidents Trump are hot as and doing a great job. Blue tie's doing a little better than red tie, but still. But yes, apparently the President of the United States called this meeting to announce a new entry in his long-running mystery series, 2020 election. What had happened was...
With the turn of a dial or the change of a chip, you can press a button for Trump, and the vote goes to Biden. Illegal aliens and dead people are voting.
Big technology companies censored the Hunter Biden laptop story, which independent analysis have said it cost Donald Trump millions of votes.
Sure! That surely would have changed the outcome. I remember back in 2020, when we were all wearing masks and socially distancing for fear we would come across a Hunter Biden dick pic. So now they've settled on maybe China did it. A theory that lasted all the way until a few minutes after Thursday night's speech, when reporters caught up with John Solomon, the guy Trump hired to find any evidence that China did it.
Did you acknowledge that there were no votes changed in 2020?
All I can acknowledge is what the intelligence shows, right? I only know the intelligence community has zero evidence that someone has flipped, that a foreign power flipped a vote in 2020, 22, or 24.
The 2020 election was, in fact, the results as we, the American public.
I'm still researching, so let me. This is the first.
But there's no intelligence.
Not
you've
yet.
been on
Yeah,
this.
he's gotta go.
There is no intelligence.
Can he still see me? The man's literally backpedaling. Look, we have fun. But I'm not actually worried about our election security because we have a robust cybersecurity and infrastructure agency that monitors threats to our system. And knowing that that's a priority of the Trump administration gives me great comfort.
Trump fired a third of the workers last year at CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency.
Oh! Well, that news would have me shitting my pants if I wasn't already shitting my pants due to the cuts to our food monitoring system that has produced a nationwide diarrhea outbreak. But at least we have that outbreak under control, as our incredibly competent FDA has finally identified the source of the outbreak.
The Food and Drug Administration now taking back what it said about the source of the Cyclospora outbreak. The FDA now says the sample from Mexico-based Taylor Farms was a false positive. The FDA admitted it made a mistake and apologized.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to this great nation's gaping, burning anus. You know what I'm talking about. We were talking about it in the questions before the show. Many of these people are here, even though clearly have diarrhea. But you know what? It doesn't even matter. It's fine. We're okay. We can still soothe our burning anuses in the cool, crystal clear waters of our nation's Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool.
Tonight, the reflecting pool in the nation's capital being drained again.
No! The reflecting pool's closed. Where will we wash our lettuce? You know, I'm starting to get the sense that this administration is not as competent. Stay with me. Not as competent as we've been led to believe. And it's not just the pool or the diarrhea. Trump said he was going to cut our energy bills in half. Electricity's up 18%. He said gas prices would go below $2 a gallon. It's up to $4 a gallon. He said he was going to stop new wars. He's bombed at least 7 other countries. He said he was going to lead a boom in manufacturing jobs. We've lost tens of thousands of manufacturing jobs. They said they would be saying Merry Christmas again. No one's wished me Merry Christmas in months. This meritocracy talk was a sham from the get-go. Remember once uber-capable Elon Musk doged out the unworthy woke deep state minorities? We were supposed to have been cooking with whatever is available to use as fuel.
DOGE firing thousands of IRS workers, creating chaos.
Hundreds of layoffs at the Centers for Disease Control, the FAA, and FEMA.
3,500 jobs from the FDA.
Hundreds of senior staff at the Department of Homeland Security.
Making cuts to the National Weather Service as severe weather moves into the South.
Laid off nearly all federal workers who investigate firefighter deaths.
Accidentally fired some veterinarians and animal health technicians working to prevent the spread of bird flu.
You fired the people trying to prevent bird flu? Who's going to teach birds how to sneeze into their elbow? All right. Maybe DOGE sending in teenage ubermenches to gut entire departments on ideological grounds might have led to some problems. But hey, at least they reduced the federal deficit.
I think it was more important to reduce the federal deficit from $2 trillion to close to zero.
Did you reduce the federal deficit?
No, we didn't.
Well, the real treasure was the friends you made along the way. Oh, wait, you made no friends. Up and down this administration, we were promised meritocracy. We got ideologues and talk show hosts who, as we reignite a new war with Iran to reopen the strait that they closed because of our original war, throw out shit like this.
Today, I'm authorizing a new screening program for testosterone deficiency for our service members, ensuring you have the right testosterone levels to operate at your absolute best.
That's your idea. Hey, you can't spell meritocracy without more T. Yeah, that's right. Watch out, Iran. We just declared war on D's nuts. Or how about Health and Human Services? How's old Robert F. Kennedy Jr. doing with that?
A growing measles outbreak.
Deadly outbreak of the hantavirus.
The flesh-eating screwworm is spreading beyond Texas.
So help me God. If Jimothy gets screwworm, I will go crazy. But it's okay, folks. There's no need to be concerned that public health will suffer from unqualified, incomprehensible leadership. They've already dealt with the real problem.
We cut $1 billion worth of DEI studies. DEI research has never cured any disease. It's never produced any new drug.
Okay. Now, excuse for a moment that what he just said is factually wrong. That the broad nature of what they consider DEI would exclude treatments for sickle cell anemia, autism, pregnancy complications, women's cardiovascular health, and many other great advances made by the people you all consider suspect. But for you, Robert Kennedy Jr., of all people, to have the balls to hop on board the anti-DEI, only meritocracy train, if your name wasn't Kennedy, here's how all your job interviews would go. It says, here you are a heroin addict who eats roadkill. Do you have any references with you?
I mean, I knew Harvey Weinstein. Bill Cosby came to my house. I was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet 2 times.
Welcome aboard.
President Trump is blasting Canada for, quote, willful negligence in its forest management, calling the pollution an unhealthy invasion. Trump went on to threaten Canada with more tariffs due to the wildfire smoke.
You got to stop these fires from coming in and, poisoning our air.
Are
Are you sure you want America to set a precedent for paying for pollution? I feel like your pals at Pesticide, Microplastic, Death, Diarrhea, Lettuce, Inc. might have other ideas. I will say the one interesting thing about the wildfires was seeing Trump almost come to a realization.
We got to stop the fires up there. I've never remembered this happening. Over the last 4 or 5 years, you saw it starting to take place.
Go on. You're getting warmer, catastrophically warmer. I love how he's discovering climate change while standing next to his idling jet. Something is causing this, and we have got to get to the bottom of it. Keep the engine running, guys, all of them. I haven't decided which plane I'm taking. But let's move on from Trump's war on Canada to his war on personally losing elections. Look, I know a lot of liberals out there think election fraud isn't a problem, but I assure you it's just as much a threat to the United States as Canada. And that's why last week, Trump gave a primetime address from the White House to offer his solution to fix our elections.
Congress must pass the Save America Act. This landmark bill requires that all voters must show photo, voter ID. How simple is that? Could I have your photo, please? Photo, voter ID.
Even he sounds exhausted by his own election bullshit. Hey, once you turn 80, it is harder to maintain an insurrection. Happens to a lot of guys. Now, if you didn't watch this speech, Trump unveiled a devastating set of documents that conclusively prove the 2020 election was stolen in a deep state conspiracy. I'm just with you. He released a bunch of documents that were old news and didn't prove jack shit. At one point, he even started to glitch.
In light of the brand new and irrefutable information I have revealed tonight, my administration is in the process of notifying the states.
It's what I'm always saying. You got to trust the process.
By now, it's clear that the Trump administration lied to get us into a war with Iran.
Take the oil. You can call it what you want, but I call it regime change. We never said regime change.
But you just said,
You know what? Never mind.
typical U.S. government imperialist lies. So I sat down with Marie Major, an expert in the field of energy, to find out why we're really at war.
The Trump administration has been lying to the people. They have not been transparent.
I know exactly what you're talking about because Trump's contradicting himself so much.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The real reason that we are at war with Iran is because of the Stargate.
Oh, I was gonna say oil.
Yes, there's the oil, but what I know is Iran sits on a Stargate.
Stargate, like the Kurt Russell movie?
Yeah.
That's right, a Stargate. In case you don't remember the 90s Kurt Russell movie with 53% on Rotten Tomatoes, a Stargate is an underground portal across the universe. And Marie, a public speaker and author, says that this powerful energy is what drew Trump into starting a war in Iran, leading to one obvious question. How the hell did Iran get a Stargate?
What happened 12,000 years ago when Atlantis fell?
Wait, what does Atlantis have to do with Stargate?
Iran's Stargate 10, it closed because of the civilization of Atlantis, that a lot of souls now on planet Earth have a thread from that timeline. So we are now returning back on the spiral, but from a higher state of consciousness.
I mean, this is actually a clearer perspective on why the war in Iran is happening than we've been getting from the Trump administration.
Yeah.
So now we have to open up the Stargate and the Strait of Hormuz.
Right, yeah.
It's gonna take forever.
The numbers came out yesterday. You know who's number one on TikTok? I am.
Oh, excuse me. Hey. Ooh, number one on TikTok. Not to mention, also very popular on Facebook and Instagram. Let's see the master at work.
As I stand by the Declaration of Independence, which is a great honor, I keep hearing so much about TikTok and all of the influence they have. I'm number one on TikTok. Can you believe it? I'm number one. Look at those numbers. There's your numbers, so I think we have influence too. And I'm saying, stop communism.
What? from? That TikTok was directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Look, I know it doesn't seem like that would be very popular on TikTok, but don't forget, they love messy bitches. And it's not just Trump. His whole cabinet is getting on TikTok. They just dropped a new video promoting it.
In the end, this team is stronger, smarter, and savvier in the game of leverage and negotiations. And it's always about America first for Trump.
Is this a TikTok or a hype video for a 50-year high school reunion? Oh shit, Doug's coming? I thought that guy was dead. But I don't want to prejudge. Let's check out some of these TikToks. RFK Jr., you never do anything weird. Let's see what you got. What the f***? Looks like a Terminator who went back in time to stop Sarah Connor from getting vaccinated.
Who let the dogs out? Who?
Hillary Clinton, D. New York, and Barack Obama, delicious. Republican presidential candidate John McCain, his running mate, Sarah Palin.
Tell me about her qualifications.
One, she's a beautiful lady.
Democratic tailgating.
Universal health care.
At 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the President of the United States is Barack Obama. A new segment, the economy and you. Financial catastrophe, the dollar worth less than the Swiss franc, the Fed bailing out troubled Wall Street firms, house foreclosures have skyrocketed, the largest bankruptcy in American history, Lehman Brothers collapsed after 158 years, after leaving the business in the hands of the youngest Lehman brother, Bongo. Not only did we kill bin Laden, we killed him in Abbottabad. Abbottabad sounds like the name most New Yorkers would have invented for the fictional place they would have loved to kill. I'll go to Abbottabad and I'll shoot him in his Abbottabada bingos. You know what I'm talking about? Boom! A story about a snapshot that appears to be an ample helping of penis, allegedly posted by a congressman whose name is a synonym for penis. Yeah, the balls feed pizza with a fork. Based on how you eat pizza, Donald, I want to see your long-form birth certificate. I don't think you were really born in New York.
President Trump was down in Georgia yesterday where he campaigned for Republican Mike Collins. And the GOP desperately needs Trump to give Collins a boost if they have any chance of keeping the Senate. So, of course, Trump talked about himself.
When I inherited this thing on January 20th, I walk into office, I have a press conference first or second day, and they're screaming at me, what are you going to do about high prices? Right? What are you going to do? I said, I just got here. What are we talking about? Tell me. Eggs have gone up 4 times. 4 times. I said, I just got here. Give me a break.
Give me a break. I didn't expect to jump into work right away. I just ran to stay out of prison. What do you mean you just got here? You already had the job for 4 years. You probably still had old pens in the desk. The guy's acting like he was expecting an onboarding. This is Joe B. You're going to spend the day shadowing him. Look, I do get it. He just wanted to spend his first day settling in, putting his stuff down, pardoning January 6ers. But the Democrats were just throwing all these new words at him.
And they said, they used the word, first time I heard it, it was a word, made up by the Democrats. Affordability. They said, affordability.
Affordability. Why is the word you're best at saying the one you're worst at doing? And by the way, Democrats didn't invent the word affordability. Costco did. Costco. If you're going to buy a container of mustard, shouldn't you be able to bathe in it? Let's move on from Donald Trump to his son, Don Jr., a New York 5, but a solid Trump 8. Because while the rest of us are suffering, he wants us to know he's doing great.
CNN investigation has found that an investment firm where Donald Trump Jr. is a partner has skyrocketed during his father's presidency.
Trump Jr. announced he joined that firm's 1789 capital days after his father's re-election in 2024. Since that time, assets the firm manages have more than tripled.
What? So lucky. How did he managed to triple his firm's assets in the 2 years his dad's been in office. He must be so good at business and only that.
Businesses the firm invested in have been awarded more than $1.6 billion from federal contracts and grants.
Unbelievable. What a flagrant abuse of power and access. This just screams corruption and greed. His dad must be so proud. This looks so bad, and Don Jr. isn't rushing to set the record straight, but there is something else he'd like to clear up.
You know, according to the Twitter, I'm the biggest cokehead in the world. You know, shockingly, there's never been a photo or a video or anyone with any credibility actually saying that they've seen me do this, so I don't. If I look tired this week, it's actually because I had foot surgery a couple of days ago.
But the rumor that you do cocaine is the coolest thing about you. You want to keep that going, or we're going to have to start talking about what you look like without a beard.
And these people who say racism doesn't exist, what's the other thing they always say?
I don't see color.
I don't see color, and that's what we're supposed to do.
White people are the only people who do not see color.
We don't see color. Whatever happened to a colorblind society? I don't see race, color.
Okay, hold on. If you don't see color, how am I supposed to pick up foundation when I go to Sephora? Do you just point to the bottles and say, good luck? I hate when people say they don't see color. Not only do people see color, they hear color. That's why when I call my bank, I go, hi. My name is Leslie. I'm calling about my account. And by the way, all these people who say they never see color, guess when they can suddenly see color?
To play Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson is played by an African American. I mean, everything is reversed.
I want you to hear this loud and clear. Santa Claus is not black. Helen of Troy is not a black woman, and you pick like the blackest black woman you ever saw.